Savage Kitchen. Today we are going to be making candied oranges covered in dark chocolate. I'm pretty excited. If you saw my video recently about the chocolate boulevardier, this is the garnish that I used on that drink. These are decadent, delicious, really easy to make, and don't need to be just a garnish. They make a great garnish, but they also make a great snack. So things you're gonna need: citrus of choice. We're gonna need a couple of kitchen tools, but nothing crazy here. Some chocolate, some sugar, and a little bit of coconut oil, which is actually optional. We'll get into that. But the first thing to do is choose your citrus. And I have a variety of oranges here. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, savage.kitchen, go follow. I posted about this. I have 4 different types of oranges here. And the reason for that is they all have a different flesh color on the inside. So I have raspberry oranges, which we're gonna play some orange roulette and cut into these because I forget which ones are which. I know that this is the raspberry orange. So I'm just gonna cut into the end of this. So the raspberry orange has this deep, deep red color on the inside. I think this one might be the blood orange. Let's see. Nope, navel orange. We'll get to a blood orange eventually. So navel orange has your traditional or typical orange color on the inside. Pretty sure this one's a Cara orange, which my friend Brendan actually introduced me to these last year. These have a beautiful pink color on the inside. It almost looks like pink grapefruit, but it is most definitely an orange. So pink flesh on the Cara orange. Maybe this one's a blood orange, I don't know. You would think by process of elimination, but no, I have a whole bowl of fruit here. God only knows what this one is. Let's hope it's a blood orange. Another navel, God damn it. Maybe this guy? Mother. Oh no, that is a blood orange. Okay, blood orange on the inside. So the blood orange, this one's actually kind of a rough example because this one has little bits of pink and orange in it. I'm actually gonna cut in a little bit deeper so you can see better. Ooh, there we go. The blood orange has this, it actually looks like a hybrid between the raspberry orange and the navel orange. It's a little bit flecked with both colors. Taste difference on these is slight. There is a taste difference. I think you could classify both the raspberry orange and the blood orange of being slightly more earthy and having a more pronounced bitter tone. It's still sweet, it's still acidic, it is still most definitely an orange flavor. But compared to the Cara and the navel, both the blood orange and the raspberry orange just have a slightly different bite to them. They're pretty delicious. Also, when making a syrup with the raspberry oranges or the blood oranges, it turns the sugar this beautiful pink color. But we'll get to this. So step 1 is to take your citrus and use a very sharp knife, and we are going to slice this into very thin rounds. Some people like to use a mandolin. I actually do not recommend using a mandolin for this because it's gonna end up crushing the fruit and flattening out the fruit as you slice it. And please be careful of your fingers. So just a really sharp knife. If your fruit's a little bit colder, sometimes that helps with the slicing because it maintains its shape a little bit more. Make sure when you're doing this, if there are seeds in the oranges, just kind of toss those to the side. They'll also naturally fall out when we boil them, but you don't want seeds in these candied oranges. Okay, now we're gonna make a simple syrup to boil our oranges in. This is the candying process. So we're just gonna take granulated sugar, about 2 cups, and then about a cup of water, maybe a cup and a half, just depends, and bring this to a boil, just like making a syrup for cocktails. By the way, we're gonna keep this syrup at the end because this is delicious in cocktails. So if you want to be more efficient about it, you could get this started while you're slicing your citrus, but I have a hard time walking and talking at the same time sometimes, so we're going step by step here. Now we're there. Our simple syrup is just about clear. We're going to add our citrus to this. And so you don't want to crowd the pan too much. It's okay if there's like a little bit of overlapping. I might have been a little ambitious and cut up too much citrus for this. I did about a half each of 4 different oranges. All right, sorry, Navel, you're not gonna make the cut. While these are in the pan, I just wanna make sure that nothing is like completely stuck to another one. And I do wanna make sure that each of them has been fully immersed in the liquid. And we're gonna bring these to a boil. It's actually just about there. And then we're gonna reduce the heat and let these simmer in this sugar for at least an hour. Then we're gonna turn the heat all the way down, and I actually like to let them sit in this sugar mixture for a couple of hours. Just like forget them. Leave them on the stove and absolutely forget them. Which probably doesn't sound safe, but eh. All right, we're gonna let these hang out for a couple of hours. Once your oranges are done sitting in the syrup, you're gonna take them out and place them on a wire rack to cool and dry out. This is gonna take a couple of days. I get it, this is tedious. There's a lot of waiting in this game, but it's so worth it. It's also really, really easy. The only difficult part of this recipe is that you just have to give it time. You gotta do this a couple of days in advance. I recommend putting some parchment paper down underneath the rack just because cleanup is gonna be way easier. And then let these sit out to dry out for at least a day. I recommend 2. So now comes the chocolate, my favorite part. You could do this in a microwave, no problem. We are going to do this using very old school, simple double boiler method. So our water's just about at a boil. So I'm gonna take my bowl and about a cup of dark chocolate chips. You could do this with white chocolate. You could do this with milk chocolate. And just a spoonful of coconut oil. This is gonna add a little bit of gloss to our finished product. And it's also gonna help with the liquefying and turning this kind of melty. I'm sure that's the technical term. So those chocolate chips are just about melted. Oh, this smells really good. It's chocolate. Oh, that's perfect. So we have our candied oranges that have been cooled and dried out. And then I have another sheet pan that's lined with parchment paper. So we're going to dip our oranges and then let them rest on this. They'll need a couple hours to cool down and let that chocolate harden. So simply take an orange slice, dip, and let some of that chocolate drip off. There we go. You could dip the whole fruit if you want. I kind of like doing a half moon because that gives you room, A, to handle it, and B, if you want to use this as a garnish, you're going to need to slice into one edge and let it sit on the side of the glass. So we're going to let these hang out for a couple hours to cool down. If it's very warm where you are, throw them in the fridge, throw them in the freezer. I like to keep mine in the fridge anyway. The end result is this little slice of citrus joy. Let's give it a taste. I love these. They're just so good. It's a perfect blend of bittersweet because the rind, you're eating the rind, but it's been sweetened by the candying process. And then that introduction of dark chocolate. It's just really, really good. So highly recommend trying the cocktail that I made these for, the Chocolate Boulevardier. But even if you're not a cocktail drinker, these are an amazing, amazing snack. So stay tuned. I don't know what we're gonna do next, but it's probably gonna be fun. Cheers, friends.